these planes. IEDs a lot of the times are triggered by cell phones, right? They hook a cell phone up as the detonator, and then or garage door openers, some sort of device that they can use remotely. Like I said, they're cheap to make. So then all I have to do is dial a cell phone number, and when that cell phone rings, the IED goes off. So there would be these flyovers by these planes that would broadcast cell phone numbers, right? So you start at 0000001, and then just go through the sequence, right? So it just starts ringing cell phone numbers as it flies over the area. In theory, it should blow up any IEDs that are rigged to cell phones as detonators. We still got hit by IEDs. We still got hit by IEDs on a regular basis. It's a great idea in theory. In practice, it didn't work out for us very well. Any other questions? Yeah.
You said one of the main problems you had when you went over was not understand the culture and understand the people. In a way, that was kind of the center of gravity, was to win over the people, to win that battle space. Now, I know from my understanding, I wasn't there at the beginning of the war, but when I went in, General Petraeus had taken over. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his change in strategy over there, but his idea was win over the people, be nice to the people, don't go around knocking around their stuff, use low amount of force. Do you think such a radical change in policy for the military is effective? Do you think?
I'm glad you brought that up. The surge, yeah, things have changed. All the stuff I talked about, what relevance does it have if the surge is working? So let's talk about the surge a little bit. Casualty numbers are down, right? When we were there in 2004, that was some of the hardest fighting. The two battles of Fallujah, some of the hardest fighting of the entire war. And then the surge happens, and casualty numbers are down now, right? Casualty numbers, I think, over this last summer, over the summer of 2008, I'll get to you in just a second. The casualty numbers over the summer of 2008 are right? So we're winning, right? Casualties are down. Violence is lower than it's ever been. For supporting the war with Ukraine. And, you know, the only thing he can respond with are the bumper sticker slogans, which, like I say, are incredibly effective at motivating that particular population. Freedom isn't free. Support the troops. Fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here, right? All easily attackable when you analyze them logically. But, and we did when we knocked those down, right? Until he was out of bumper sticker slogans. and one by one, we'd been talking to this guy, and he was just, you know, foaming at the mouth. And one by one, my friends just kind of threw up their hands and walked away from this guy because we weren't making any headway convincing him with reasonable arguments. And the point that I walked away at was, he said, well, we got to go out there and fight them because we can't let them think that America can be pushed around, so we've got to invade countries like Iraq. And I said, well, you know, you make that sort of argument that we're invading nations just to show people that we can't be pushed around. Why do we have to send them all the way to Iraq? Why don't we just invade Mexico? And he said, I think we should invade Mexico. And I walked away. I've hit you a few times, so I'm going to
yeah, I can wait.
I think what I was trying to say as far as the comparison between Vietnam and this war and the soldiers, I would say I feel I've had friends out with Afghanistan and Iraq, and I feel that going into it, a lot of them, or the people that supported them or supported the war in the beginning, it was this idea of 9/11.
Sure.
And it was, we were attacked, you know, this whole, and how it was blown up in the media by President Bush and all of these things. So although Vietnam was like, okay, we're fighting communism, there wasn't this sense of like something happened here, and you know, like all these blocks. So I feel that not only is it a culture of, you know, 9/11, but also there's miseducation, which you know, this will just go into it. So
was something else with regards to GI resistance. When I go in and talk to veterans, I mean, like a kid in St. Louis, when we started talking to him about the military, right? When we started talking to him about, listen, you got used by a system that knew that we were going to fail before we ever went in there and didn't say anything about it, didn't try and stop it. Your general officer corps failed, right? It's not your fault, right? I'm not telling you that the war is wrong and that you did something wrong. I'm telling you your idealism, your belief in what you were doing in your service got used against you. It was a revelation to them, right? You know, they're not informed. And I think a lot of this, most people don't know about. Most people don't analyze. I never questioned it on any level prior to having served there and having experienced something that I just couldn't understand and I needed to find answers when I came home. So yeah, information, informing them is a huge step towards trying to get change. You know, how do you reach the entire public?
But I also feel the media and how the proliferation of these Arab people, these are our enemies. You know, airports, the whole security on airports. I think the expanse of, you know, all these images being plastered in the media, I think the media has played a large role in, like, this is our enemy. And so a lot of miseducated people, or even educated people, are so influenced by the media that they just see that, you know, this is our enemy, so that's why we're over there. When really that's not even the case. So I feel like, yeah, I think that's how it's different from Vietnam. And so it's like, the media is a huge part of it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you...
If I could just interject, and I'm not a big movie goer, but I know enough of the history of Hollywood to tell you that, and my students have heard this before, sorry for the rewind, but in my generation, I don't think you could find a movie where there was an Arab or Muslim enemy. They were some people who were out there somewhere in the world. You knew, there were Arabs and Muslims, but the problem was the communists, especially those Asian ones. Okay, and so we had all these movies about the communists and TV shows about the communists.